This episode of An Unexpected Podcast is brought to you by WM Wolf. Thank you.
How many times do you need to clear your throat? I like to get in the night. I like to get in that deeper,
That's why I drink coffee.
Grumbly. Can I have a swig? In all seriousness.
Yes, of course. You can have a cup. There's none left, but I will go make you some. You don't like it hot, do you? I'm so hoping you just drop that and spill it all over the electronics. I don't know why. This is weird.
Hello, friends, and welcome to An Unexpected Podcast. I'm Ez,
And I'm Lane.
and we're talking Tolkien. How's it going today, buddy?
I am very excited, Ez.
Are you?
I can't believe this. In a lot of ways, it seems like this day has been coming for a long time.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's
Right.
very unexpected. Because how long have we been talking about making this podcast? Let's do full disclosure.
Full
with our
disclosure,
listeners.
yeah, not very long. It was a couple weeks ago, right?
A couple weeks. Like this idea, it's. I think it's been brewing for a lot longer than we've been talking about it, but it's.
Well,
the day's finally here.
So we always start off with a little quick counsel, just kind of getting to talking about things that have happened in life,
Catching up with each other.
Yeah.
We don't get to talk during the setup because. Well,
Right.
I'm gonna enlighten our friends in the book club that
Right.
Ez doesn't like to set up and talk at the same time. So I like that personal touch and that communication, and he just doesn't appreciate conversation at that point of the day. So really the only time we have time to sit down and have a
good
moment
chat. Right.
is during quick counsel.
Is right now. I like the idea of like snow and
I love snow too.
Well, can I finish here? This is like I like snow. Okay, I like you
I
said
was helping you out,
to be curled up
I like snow.
next to the window,
Yes.
chilling out,
Reading a
book. And that's been what we've been doing. So
Lord, I was born a rambling man.
come on,
Doing the best as friends thing I can.
right?
I don't even know if those are the words, but I am a rambling man. This is the podcast for it. Yeah. So in book clubs, you ramble, right? People
Let's
go
go.
on tangents. They relate to the story. Excuse me, I'm just a lowly hobbit.
We've had kind of an interesting, different pre-podcast today, man.
Yeah, we have. It's been weird.
It's been awesome.
It's been great.
So let me. So usually you guys know the gist. Ez comes in, sets up for about 5 hours, gives me lots of
Right.
okay,
Yeah.
right.
What's
Hey, Ez,
wrong?
have you thought about? Yeah. So anyway,
What's wrong with that?
huh? That's it. Ez comes in, talking my ear off. It's like we're back in college again. He's like, "Hey, buddy, hey, you do this? Oh my god, a million miles a minute.
Yeah.
Just like
I was happy to see you, man.
catch it." He was genuinely excited to see old Lane, and I
was
felt
happy.
pretty good about
Yeah,
it.
it
We
was
cracked open some Chinese. I brought some Chinese, some carry out from from China buffet. Actually, is what it's called in Lancaster. China buffet. Yeah. I do have an observation I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Do you judge
Yeah.
Chinese buffet how good it's going to be
Uh-huh.
based on how much condensation is in the windows?
I love a good willow tree.
A good willow tree is...
I have a couple stories about willow trees later too that I want to get into.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm serious.
Sounds promising.
Some good stuff. So
Not very erect trees, but
Yeah,
kind of
well-
slouchy.
they're slouchy. Yeah,
They're sleepy.
That's okay though.
It is. Fitting for this chapter.
It is. It is.
Yeah, anyway, picked up some Chinese. We dug into it because Ez was smelling so much like Chinese last time. We said, we got to eat some Chinese
Did
this
we
time.
make that reference in the actual podcast last time?
We may not have. Ez showed up and I gave him a hug. I'm like, "Whoa, dude, that smells good." Ez goes, "What is wrong?" I'm like, "Did you have some Chinese before you got here?" Nope.
I straight up had Panda Express on the way down here, flying down.
No, you did not.
Yeah, I did. Remember, I told you that.
Oh, I thought you went today. I was going to say you double dunked on
Today?
Chinese.
Oh, no, not today. Oh my god. No, you did.
You'd be going into cardiac arrest right now, man.
No, I did not have double
Yes,
Chinese.
but last time, that's right. Okay, you didn't say no. I didn't. You did have Chinese, so that's why you smelled like Chinese,
Right.
Because you're sitting in the car with it the whole time.
It was falling all over me too. I was like shoving because we were trying to get here for our secret. We have a big.
That's right.
Right.
So I'm tired, but we're currently sipping on some some strong coffee.
Some strong coffee.
As he said, I was like, I want some coffee. As you want some? And he goes, yeah, give me a little bit. So I made some espresso and put it in there too. And we're wired for sound now.
I mean, I'm wired. We will be up till 3 tonight.
3 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
Just pointless appendices for months on end. Yeah. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, man. I'm really glad we did the poll for the food.
Yeah.
I did not want moist Chinese.
No, okay. And see, here's the thing. I don't want people to think that we don't like Chinese.
No, absolutely not.
We love Chinese. But guys, you got to understand, and I think most of you know this, and that's why you helped us out. You voted for some pizza. That level of Chinese, that's once every 6 months.
I don't know if you can do that before a podcast, too. That was not a good idea.
I felt terrible last time.
I know.
I mean, that and
You
the cherry
smelled awful,
Coke,
too.
I blame you for that. I blame you for the sniffing. Don't forget the sniffing.
That's right.
But yeah,
It's been a good morning. We've got a lot out. Got a lot off our chests. He did. Yeah, Lane's actually got some egg in his beard right now, which is kind of weird.
It doesn't bother me.
Whatever. Whatever. Did you get that bacon out of the oven, by the way?
Yeah, that was like
hours ago. Okay, cool. I literally just thought of it. I'm sorry. Yeah, we were making some. Yeah, I didn't even get any of that bacon.
There's some. Go get some.
I didn't
I'll
even
cover
get
for
any.
you. Go
Yeah, no,
walk
it's
to
fine.
the kitchen's 5 feet that way.
I don't want any bacon.
Okay.
We're good.
This is great, man. I mean, we're relaxing. I
good.
almost forget
Feels
that
good.
there's even mics in front of us. You know what I mean? We're
Right.
having a good time. So
We
he's
are.
sniffing my candles. He's making me make him eggs. I don't need breakfast. I don't need bread. Yeah, go ahead. I'll take some eggs. But make sure you do it right. Did you put milk on that? Did you put milk on those scrambled eggs? Okay, all right.
I mean, that's how I sound in the morning. So,
Yes. It's his morning voice.
that's my morning voice. But the sniffing, this smells so good, guys.
And
I just want you to
forget the sniffing.
when I have time with you, everything else just kind of melts away, man. Yeah. You come here, I feel like I see, Gandalf's wagon coming through the cutting. And you just show up when you show up, never early or late.
Right.
You're always right on,
Right.
precisely when you mean to be.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, we had a good night tonight. We had a healthy alternative to China buffet.
Right.
It was not the windows. Were those windows crystal clear?
They were. We also got shorted on the steak, though.
Yeah.
The hibachi. So we went hibachi.
We got the short end of the steak.
Yeah. But, wow.
And you had your first hold today. You got the holder for the first
Did,
time.
I got really nervous.
As I was like, how do I do this? Where do I put this hand? So I was like, you're fine. Just don't drop her. He goes, I'm done. I'm going down. Then after that, you held her for like 20 seconds. And he comes to me and he goes, how do you hold her like that all the time, man?
Well, not like the holding
It's
part.
hard. It's
I was
awkward.
Like, which way do I hold her? With her back on me or like her stomach, on me? I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
So, because, when you handed her to me, she was like facing me. So I was like, what do I do here? I'm like, hand it to me backwards.
And you have a niece.
I know.
That's
had
the
been a
crazy
while.
thing.
It was. I was like, it was weird.
Lane has decided that it's not totally fair that I have to get up every time and he just sleeps peacefully through the night. Because I said to him one night, or the next day, I said, how on earth? Her monitor is in our room. Mm-hmm. You hear her cry. You hear her. You don't budge. Nothing. So he's pretty self-conscious of it, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The next night, she's crying. I fed her. I laid her down. She started crying again.
Okay.
I'm like, oh my God, okay. He told me to wake him up. I look at him. I'm like, hey, Lane, you need to, please, can you go get her? She's like crying and she, she won't go back to sleep. I've nursed her already. She's been burped, blah, 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 blah. Can you go deal with her? He literally says to me, huh? What? Huh? Yep. Hey, what? I said, Lane, can you do that? Yeah. What? Who are you talking about? I'm like, our daughter. Who do you want me? I'll go rock her, but who? This continues for literally a minute. I'm like, hey, bud, like, I'll deal with it. Like, it's not a big deal. He goes, wait, yeah, I'll get her. No worries. Rolls right back over and falls asleep.
No. Wow. I need a handkerchief. I know that. I definitely need a handkerchief.
We're ready to go.
Wow.
You have to have all your senses about you when you're dealing with the Black Riders. And if you're drowsy, if you're tired,
Right.
you're in trouble.
You're in trouble.
And we're not going to be caught with our,
Yeah.
in the
out in the woods.
Yeah.
That's what he's trying to say.
Yep.
Billy Boyd.
We met. Here's what I keep saying. I know it sounds weird. We met Pippin.
Right.
It didn't feel when we were sitting there or standing there talking to Billy Boyd.
Yeah.
In an autograph line, right? That anybody could go through.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like I was talking to Pippin.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was talking to a movie star. I didn't feel like I was talking to a celebrity.
Yeah.
I felt like I was talking to my old friend Billy. That's how this man makes you feel.
Yeah, you were like, I need to change my pants, and I thought you were being serious because of all
From
the
sweat.
It was crazy.
I was so sweaty. It's on this weird keto thing. I don't even know what keto is. I just see people doing a lot. But I heard this idea. It's supposed to make the energy or something for coffee last longer.
Are you
because
kidding
it's
me?
mixed with fats. You put a sizable amount of butter in it and coconut oil.
I'm gonna be up all night.
I know, man. Well, we probably shouldn't have. Well, no. It's good that we drank it now. But I wanted to trial it out for because I drink so many cups of coffee every morning.
Sure.
So many, and I don't feel any effects. And so I'm hoping maybe this will, like with one cup, because it's rich, isn't it?
Oh my gosh,
it's almost
dude,
it's like a better cappuccino.
Yeah.
Or like I don't know, latte. I don't even know. I don't know what to compare it to. But I'm hoping like with maybe one cup of this, we'll do the same as 8 cups of dark roast black.
It's doing it. That's for sure. I'm just a little shy. There's something in it because we are jazzed. On to Dropping Eves. We're not gonna. There's not a whole
There's
lot
nothing
here
going on, man.
And we want to spend much more time on the chapter today.
Yes.
I think so.
It's important.
Lane, you want to just brush us through it?
Yeah, I mean, so Galser, he's a rep for the Tolkien estate, and he's in the trust. And HarperCollins said in a statement to the New York Times that the TV adaptation will explore previously unexplored stories based on Tolkien's writings. So again, pretty vague, right?
Yeah.
Previously unexplored. So we're getting this whole message that it's going to be the 60 years between the end of the Hobbit adventure and the beginning of Lord of the Rings.
I just don't know. I mean, here's the thing. Real quick.
I don't know
what we're
either.
talking- Okay.
Yeah.
Because you have like a 12-volume history of Middle Earth, and it's like, I think it's like, whoa, gosh, don't quote me right now. It's book 8 or 9, somewhere in there. Like it's like is where you get into the Middle Earth history around that period that you're talking about, that 60 years.
Yeah.
Like there are probably 6 books before all of that. I mean, there's just, so if we're basing this on his writings, that could be anything.
See, I think that it's vague, but it doesn't discount what we've heard before because that 60
fine.
years is untouched pretty much.
Yeah.
But it makes it even more open-ended. It could be anything. Ian McKellen was on there, and he was asked about, how do you feel about being replaced by a younger actor for the show? Because the show news had just broke. And Ian McKellen said, "What do you mean another Gandalf? I haven't said yes because I haven't been asked. But are you suggesting someone else is going to play it? Who would be suitable?
Right.
Gandalf is over 7,000 years old, so I'm not too old." If it's a story that is the reason you're watching the show, right? I want that to be the reason I'm watching because not because I want to, because I don't know, not because I want to see how they're going to connect it, because I want to see, how are we gonna see this realized? This different story that's already there. So digging into the Silmarillion or bringing something from the unfinished tales,
right?
Or going way off and telling the backgrounds of these myths that build into the trilogy. So
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna. I like we've said, probably not gonna happen. But you never know.
Anyways, but that does kind of lead us into, we wanted to talk just real quick. We had a little idea here to go over our top 5 characters from the books, not realized in the film that we have to see in the show, that we would like to see in the show.
Right.
So
kind of a wish list sort of
yeah.
thing.
So in my top 5, I've got Tom Bombadil, Glorfindel, also Gildor, Fatty Bulger for Elros, which is just Elrond's brother.
Okay, so my top 5 are, I've always felt like I would love to get to know these characters more, and they haven't been in the films. Hobbit or Lord of the Rings is the sons of Elrond. So kind of to piggyback off of your brother of Elrond, Elrahir and Eladin. When I want to see more Númenóreans and Rangers, the Entwives. And then I got Goldberry on there, Arathorn II.
Yeah.
The father of Aragorn.
Yeah.
Searching for news on the show, it's so tight-lipped. I'm going everywhere. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to look up and see what's on the IMDb page. Okay.
Okay.
Those are usually pretty accurate. Even in early stages, they have some sort of idea what direction it's headed. I want you to pull it up real quick. Would you mind pulling it up real quick?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, sure. Pull it up quick here. There. Which year we? I don't really actually see anything. Dude, this is all the.
I'll pull it up then.
Yeah, because I don't see anything. What are you talking about? Where?
I'll pull it up.
Are you like some wizard on IMDb and you're?
I mean, maybe. Let me pull it up real quick here.
I think it's interesting. You went in here.
Here it
and
is.
searched,
TV series. Lord of the Rings TV series.
Oh, glad that was easy to find.
I'm going to read you the synopsis.
Okay, read it to me.
A young hobbit named Frodo Baggins has been entrusted with saving the future of civilization by taking a powerful, highly sought-after ring to Mount Doom and destroy it. I kid you not.
Stop.
I kid you not. Episode guide, 0 episodes, The Lord of the Rings Adventure Fantasies TV series. I kid you not.
Okay.
So I think there might be a conspiracy. I've got a couple of theories here that I'm going to try and link together. You take it for what it is, okay?
Okay.
That speaks so much, and I've always loved Andy Serkis, but that speaks so much into his character. That's massive, dude.
Yeah.
But I kind of agree with him. If it is someone else's vision, you almost kind of have to go clean slate. That is what this show could do, though.
You're right.
The show could, and I know the knee-jerk reaction is, don't touch the movies. Let's go to a new place. Let's go to a new time.
Yeah.
But the cool thing that this show could do is it could allow for that depth. Well, and you're talking about Aragorn's biggest fan, bro.
Yeah, I know you.
I'm obsessed with Aragorn. I will, no joke, if I'm presented with a difficult situation, I go, man, WW80.
Yeah.
What would Aragorn do? He'd always fight for good. And I'd try to base my decisions on that.
Yeah.
I don't want an Aragorn origin story. I don't want that to be the initial show idea.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted something unpredictable.
Uh-huh.
And that to me is very unpredictable.
Okay.
I thought they would do 5 consecutive seasons within that 60 years, and it would be very,
This happens first, this happens next, and then after that, this happens.
I like the idea of one season is about Aragorn. The next, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Will it be in that same 60-year gap? I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah.
But sort of an anthology of different characters, following them in different times. It'll be amazing.
So, I mean, that leads us right into the reread.
It's pretty perfect.
This week, and
Cool beans. So guess what I just noticed? I got it though. Don't worry. We have an outline. Lynn and I have an outline, and he didn't share it with me until.
Okay. I thought I did,
Right. It's cool.
and it turned out I didn't. So
I wouldn't have been able to get into it anyways because I was doing.
I know, as act like he had all this time. He's on like 7 podcasts.
It's
and like
ridiculous.
trying to land a drone on the moon or something.
Right.
I don't know. The dark side of the moon. Trying to find Vader there.
Oh.
So he wouldn't have had time.
So just to kind of quickly summarize this chapter, it starts off. We kind of get it's the tie-in between The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. We get to learn more about Bilbo. There's a lot of storytelling. It's sort of told by the gaffer. He kind of fills in some of these different things. There's some rumor. And we're building up to Bilbo's birthday. And this chapter is titled A Long Expected Party.
Which there's some irony in there too, isn't there?
There is.
Pretty cool.
It's really cool.
How he plays with the words.
The tie-in, to the Hobbit chapter 1, is an unexpected party. Which is where we kind of came up with the name for our podcast, an unexpected podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
So interesting. Let's dive into it.
Let's do it.
Okay, we're calling this "Filling Up the Corners,"
That's right.
which is a reference
As hobbits would.
as they would.
That's
they
right,
would.
man. It's another message he's sending that this isn't about Bilbo's journey. This isn't about, this isn't his story anymore. It's we're moving on from that. So it's not important who these dwarves were.
Yeah,
It's important that they came because they're connected to Bilbo, but it's not important who they were. We're not worried about dwarves right now.
It just shows that he's kept up relations and ties.
That's
with
also
them,
true. That's also true.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
But he disappeared.
Yeah.
So we have a ring that can make you disappear. Gandalf himself just kind of disappears in The Hobbit several times.
Yeah.
And multiple times throughout this chapter, he uses the word disappeared.
Yeah.
Or disappears or what have you.
He's setting up the
Frodo says it later on when he wants to disappear.
Yeah,
And
right.
it's just like it's interesting.
Very
It's that
interesting.
word choice is so important, and it makes you appreciate every line of this story to kind of see things. That's why we want to do a deeper look at this and take it chapter by chapter, because then you can get in there and appreciate things like that.
And I guess really the story is all about like the disappearance of evil. trying to make evil disappear.
Wow.
I mean, there's all kinds of connections you can draw, dude. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Well done, my friend.
Yeah.
Inside Bag End, Bilbo and Gandalf were sitting at the open window of a small room looking out west onto the garden. The late afternoon was bright and peaceful. The flowers glowed red and golden. Snapdragons and sunflowers and nasturtiums trailing all over the turf walls and peeping in at the round windows.
Wow.
Just beautiful. Like, beautiful language.
Well,
so,
personification there,
yeah.
peeping in
Right.
through the round windows.
Right.
Right.
Even the flowers are alive in Bag End.
Yes, they
right?
are.
I mean, I guess plants are alive anyway, but they're like, they've got
Yes, they are.
characteristics.
Okay,
So-
here we go. Okay, so types of fireworks. We have squibs. Oh my god. Crackers. Backer wrappers. Sparklers. Torches. Dwarf candles. Elf fountains. Goblin barkers. And thunderclaps.
They're not proactive in learning about the outside world. It has to come to them. And so they just receive information. And so they're not very well prepared for anything.
Right.
Which is one of the scary things about the Shire, because you want and hobbits is you want them to stay protected. You want them to stay this, because they're a pocket of innocence within.
Right.
And they have their problems too, obviously, but it's inconsequential stuff.
Right.
There's no evil in the Shire. Yeah. Every time, so we have a few more references ahead where they talk about the hobbits, and they'll like be eating and drinking and hanging out and smoking,
right? And
then they go out for a quote unquote sniff of air.
It's in my
dude,
notes
and
too.
every time that comes up, I'm like, that's me and Ez. That's what we're gonna do after we record one podcast. We'll step out for a little breath of fresh air.
Right.
It's just, I don't know. It's cool.
Well,
the little things.
Well, in case we forget it, a sniff of air, and then our writers that are going to have later with the sniffing and stuff.
Oh,
don't forget the sniffing.
Dang, dude.
Pippin says, don't forget
the light
it.
and the dark.
Sorry,
the duality.
Don't forget that.
Okay, all right. Okay. So this place that we've seen as full of light and life and energy and homey and always comfortable is changing hands, and it's I don't know. It's just.
Well, it's also foreshadowing the fate of Bag End itself. So,
gosh,
he's probably getting to a point. Eventually, he gets to a point where we're not there yet. Where another chapter where he gets further than he's ever been.
Yeah,
but we're getting close to that for him. Yeah, and for all of them, I guess. Essentially,
they're starting to get out of their element a little bit.
Yeah.
Out of depth.
Especially for Sam, I think. Because Frodo's kind of going back to Buckland where he grew up. But anyways, Sam starts to kind of wonder about elves in these woods, right?
And they also do a little bit of singing.
Oh, they do. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely they do.
The road goes ever on and on.
It does.
You know what I mean? Road goes ever on and on, down from the door where it began. Now far ahead the road has gone, and I must follow if I can. We're having fun here, guys.
Oh my god!
Sing along, make your own tune. We're obviously stealing the one from the movie.
Oh, it's easier.
That's the easiest one.
Yeah.
And then round the corner came a black horse, no hobbit pony, but a full-size horse, and on it sat a large man who seemed to crouch in the saddle, wrapped in a great black cloak and hood, so that only his boots and the high stirrups showed below. His face was shadowed and invisible. Invisible. Let me say that word again more coherently. Invisible.
Yeah.
So shadowed, again, we're seeing this shadow. And every time we've or most of the times we've heard of shadow, it has the connection to Mordor.
Right, absolutely.
Right? Yep. Invisible face.
In connection to ring and connection to great rings. All right there.
His head was bowed as if listening, and there came a noise as if someone was sniffing.
What about the smelling, sir? Said Sam. And the gaffer said he was a black chap. The smelling, the sniffing.
A star came out above the trees in the darkening east before them. You can just picture it. You're there in a second.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's
Home is behind, the world ahead, and there are many paths to tread through shadow to the edge of night. Until the stars are all alight.
Wow.
Here you go.
Someone comes in to save him. Who is it?
Snow White. Snow White.
Hi ho, it's off to work.
Right, wrong one. Yeah, sorry. Not the dwarves, the elves. Right.
We're back into danger here. Heads on a swivel, no talking.
Right.
And you can almost envision these poor 3 little hobbits, uncomfortable and tired and wet and scratched up, like just on constant lookout for their doom.
Right.
It's just it's terrifying, man. Like that would be terrible.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're making their way through, and it says they start to go in kind of zigzags and things.
Yeah.
They're not. Let's see.
And then we come out of it too.
Right.
Right. It says, I love this description. Then the sun gleamed out of ragged clouds. Again, you're right there. The rain just picked up here.
Man, I'll tell you, that's eerie as all get out, man. We're reading about this. Dude, okay. I'm sorry, guys. I have to stop. No, I'm sorry, guys. I know we're in the middle of the reread right now. I have looked over at that window probably 15 times.
This has been freaking me out.
I thought for sure there was a black rider in that window. It's like late at night, man, and I'm like,
we are in the Shire, man. This
saw
is back in.
I saw something across the road through your window.
Stop.
And like, there's like wind blowing, and
Stop, dude.
It's raining.
I wish we were filming this right now because it really is like
it's storming outside.
So my house reminds me of Bag End anyway. It's very hobbity.
Good Lord.
And like, yeah, Ez is right. We're looking out the
scared.
Windows, and there's and I saw him glance over about 10 times.
I did.
I'm like, what the heck? I kept looking at him to see what was. I was trying to, without talking into the microphone, ask what was going on, and he kept just nodding and going like, shh, it's okay, without saying anything. But he kept looking over, and then the rain picks up, and he just turns straight around and looks at the window behind him, and darn near pees himself.
Dude, I'm telling you, I don't know what was going on, and that's no joke, guys. I was trying to keep straight face during the reread, but I kept like looking over because I thought at one point someone was looking through that window, bro. So. Sing hey for the bath at close of day that washes the weary mud away. A loon is he that will not sing.
Oh, water hot is a noble thing.
That was pretty good, man.
Oh, man.
We did not practice. I was sweating because I'm like, we didn't practice this.
We didn't practice the song. No, I
a
didn't care.
beer in the throat is worth many hands. I just made that. I don't know. It's, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's 2 parts of the knowledge here.
Is.
Because Mary first reveals that he had snuck in and he had read a bit of the There and Back Again book.
Yep.
Yep. So that was interesting.
Right.
That he got a peek at it, just a quick peek.
Yep. And he didn't leave it. Bilbo didn't leave it around often.
No, we did not.
That's right. It was closely guarded.
Gosh, dude, it's so good.
Yeah.
Because this is time travel too. We're going back and we're filling in the gaps. We're making so much sense of like how this adventure is getting started. It's just unreal.
Well, here we go.
I love this chapter.
I love this chapter too. He says, so I just told you the story about how he first saw, Bilbo disappear, piss away. We have problems with speaking.
Piss off, Bilbo.
On this podcast sometimes. But
why couldn't we have just stayed in Crick Hollow?
So,
what book are you reading from?
Lord of the Rings, The Old Forest.
Okay.
And I think that's something that'll, Tom B is going to have to handle here in a little
Absolutely. And I think it's kind of interesting because he's sort of, and it's interesting though, like when you read about the Old Forest, it's interesting to note that it's mostly queer and strange place. Mm-hmm. And when we use the word evil, it's not in the same context that we use the evil to the south or the east. So it's not Mordor evil. It's not.
It sounded. You cry for help. You can honestly the reason
expecting nothing.
Right. Well, and also the despair sets in because you heard the cry and it didn't go anywhere.
Didn't even go anywhere.
Right. Suddenly he stopped. There was an answer, or so he thought, but it seemed to come from behind him. And he turned to listen, and soon there could be no doubt. Someone was singing a song, deep, glad voice, singing carelessly, happily, but it was singing nonsense.
You got to take this one.
And it sounded something like, "Hey, dole, merry dole, ring-a-dong, dilly-o, ring-a-dong, hop along, follow the willow, tom, bum, jolly tom, tom, bombadillo."
And I think we all have different people that connect to us that way. You're like, there's a light in their eyes, there's a ring in their voice.
Absolutely.
There's just something about them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's
We all
what I
have people
thought when
in
I
our
first
life.
met you. You know, I mean,
He doesn't say stuff like that off the air.
yeah. Sorry.
Maybe we could call it divine timing. Maybe we could call it some sort of destiny.
It makes you think. You know, like half of me thinks that he is the creator. The other half of me that he's very up there, like the, you know,
right. He's just a spirit.
right.
Yeah.
But not necessarily the creator.
Right.
Maybe. You know,
Right.
he's just gotten carried away.
And doesn't that sound like it? Doesn't that kind of sound like a creator thing to do, though?
Yeah.
Like, I created this, but, you know,
And he's gone a little.
maybe if you realize it,
little
go
cooped, you know, and he's
he's
in
so
the-
old that he appears strange to us.
Yeah. Yep. I know.
Man, it's so interesting, dude.
It is. It is.
There really is no. I mean, the cool thing about him is you can throw out the craziest ideas, and they don't really seem that crazy.
Right. Right. Yes. Yeah.
The names with him, the name for the character came first, and that shaped who that character was because he was a philologist, because he obsessed over words, because like language was what he loved. That was his number one passion. It wasn't even storytelling; it was language. So, I mean, obviously, what you do with language is you tell stories. So that's the next natural step, or what you do with that. But so he went by many names. To the elves and Dunedain, he was known as Iarwen ben Adar, which translates to oldest and fatherless. Okay, so the elves and the Dunedain are calling him oldest and fatherless.
Right.
Where's your beginning if you don't have a father? And if the elves are calling you the oldest, I mean, so and then it says Iarwen literally means old young.
Like if time doesn't, if he doesn't bend time in a sense, or it's weird to me.
If I could turn back time,
Easy cow.
if I could find a word.
Should have never said that. But anyways, so Nellie's not going to be able to stop laughing. Oh my god. Oh, now see people are gonna be like, "Ez, you're nuts." Okay, all of a sudden you're giving Tom Bombadil now the power of time. You know.
Hey, no,
control.
that's not the power of time. As that is
Okay.
perception of time is, dude. That's come on. That's a whole
Okay.
podcast in and of itself.
Give
You're
it
not
back
doing
to me.
anything wrong there.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
beautiful because, I mean, explain to me how 5 minutes can feel like 10 hours, and 10 hours can feel like 5 minutes.
Sure. Their quiet ponies were almost frisky, sniffing. Sorry, I just said sniffling.
Don't forget the
Don't
sniffing.
forget
as.
that. Ez takes things to the extreme. I love when I say I want my imagination to run wild. It will run wild.
Didn't Lewis talk about thin places, or the ancients talked about thin places,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Where the reality we know and other dimensions kind of touch.
Yes. Yeah.
And
I love
and
it.
as we were talking about this, is kind of what I thought about too. Is where are we really?
Yes.
You know, we're catching glimpses of stuff, and then it's not there again.
Right.
We don't see something, and then it pops right up. Like what is that? Is it the
Yeah.
fog playing with us, or is it something else?
Frodo actually goes through the stones. This is where I pay attention to the directions a little bit more, just so we don't get super lost. But he goes through the stones. Okay. Still going north? Question mark. But yes, I believe still going north. Darkness seemed to fall like immediately as he goes through those stones. Lane.
It's a portal, bro.
It's a portal. Okay.
Portal.
It's a gosh dang portal. I don't
It's the
want to
upside
hear
down.
it. It's the upside down. Stranger things are happening. My God. You know, so he's through the
Yeah, 'cause
portal.
He looks back and no one's behind him.
And I wondered if that was part of it, you know. And guys, we understand this is a bit of a stretch, but you know, we like to make things interesting here. Is it a stretch?
I don't know. I think it's reading the text pretty clearly.
Say that again.
He called help 3 times in the old forest. When Old Man Willow was taking Merry and Pippin,
Oh my God.
and
Hold on here.
and right before old Tom showed up,
Yeah.
he called help 3 times. Now it doesn't say that he just called it 3 times. It's just an interesting parallel.
It's getting a little gosh dang weird, okay? But listen
Too
to
much
me.
fog.
It's too, yeah. Would you do? What if a bunch of fog just started rolling in around your house right now? What would you
Don't
do?
you see it?
What would you
Oh, I see it. I mean, it doesn't say who. He doesn't recognize the voices. He just hears help, help, help.
What?
But I'm seeing that as someone mimicking the Hobbit's voices.
That's what I was saying.
Okay,
That's
well,
what I was
Well, I'm
thinking.
thinking maybe it's also something taking the other hobbits.
Yes,
'Cause
it
are
could
they-
be both.
It could be both.
That's that. My point is
Okay.
that for sure they're probably taken. Obviously they are. We know
Right.
that they are.
Right.
But Frodo ran on ahead.
Right.
And he went through the portal. Air quote. No, he went through the stone pillars.
Right.
And he's coming back. And then, gosh, couldn't you hear that? Couldn't you hear? Like, how creepy? How creepy is it to think that like a Barrow White changes voices and is like mimicking the hobbits it just captured?
Dude,
you know what I'm saying? Like that would just be crazy.
Yeah, I'm thinking from the films like a mixture of when Frodo falls into the dead marshes, mixed with the Wraith world. You know, when he puts the ring on it, like just that weird kind of disoriented, creepy shadow world kind of thing going on.
There loomed against the westward stars a dark black shape. A great barrow stood there.
It's great. Thanks a lot. Now I'm scared.
It's
Here, said a voice deep and cold that seemed to come out of the ground. I am waiting for you. Are you kidding me?
It just says meat, cheese, and toast.
I
and
like
then
that.
like the drink. I mean, it was just like
I like that.
And like it's all it said. And so like my buddy Sam looks over at me and he's just like, so I guess
Gamgee?
no. Well, yeah, he's kind of like Sam Gamgee.
Okay.
But he says, so I guess we'll have the meat. I don't like, you know what I'm saying? So when the person's like, well, we have X, Y. You actually had a couple of different varieties, but it's the same idea that we'll have the meat, whatever you have. They split up here, but what's important to come join the company is what I thought was interesting. Butterbur wants them to join the company, and that feels to me like this is a group of regulars, but then also the overall company. I bet you there's a group of regulars, but then we also have the mixing in of this party.
Yes, sure.
We have the dwarves and so on, but I bet you there's those regulars, don't you?
Oh, for sure.
Okay. So
His legs were stretched out before him, showing high boots of supple leather that fitted him well, but had seen much wear and were now caked with mud. A travel-stained cloak of heavy dark green cloth was drawn close about him, and in spite of the heat of the room, he wore a hood that overshadowed his face. But the gleam of his eyes could be seen as he watched the hobbits. Whoa.
Who is that?
Who is this guy?
Yeah. Can you get off the keyboard there for a sec, man?
What was I doing?
I mean, you just totally jacked up the outline. It's cool. I mean, you just erased everything.
No, I didn't.
You didn't see it? I mean, watch me Control Z this.
I get that. I also wonder too how noticeable is Strider. I think we think of him as like this beautiful man, Viggo Mortensen, this handsome, swashbuckling. That's wrong. That's piratey. Heroic. Just
chiseled.
Women love him. Dudes want to be like him. Kind of a guy.
Sure.
I don't think that's what Tolkien intended.
Yeah,
I mean Sam's his protector, but Merry's kind of the guy I think that he can count on.
Role. Yeah. So I mean, they didn't come back, so he's out, getting a sniff of air.
Yep.
Don't forget the sniffing.
Yep.
And
never.
No. And so he probably saw some sniffing going down, some unusual, unexpected sniffing, and he sneaks up on it, which is crazy. They're trying to avoid the Midgewater marshes.
Yeah.
But of course, they would have had to pass through the marshes themselves. The Strider's description of them were not very encouraging.
Yeah. Not a friendly place for hobbits.
No. Ends up, the sun was. Actually, this is the little bit of comfort that they have here. The one day where the sun is shining, it's clear, but it's not too hot, right?
Right.
That's quickly going to pass, and we're going to get into some times where there's bugs, there's gnats, there's whatever going on. They're completely hassled. It's too hot. It's too whatever.
Yep.
Right.
They're looking for some sort of sign that Gandalf has been close by or that he's on his way. And unknown to them, they see Gandalf in a sense.
Yeah.
They see, a conflict he's in from afar and don't know it's him, but they're able to I can just imagine that. Like, they're able to, and then the realization when it's confirmed later, when Aragorn kind of confirms it for him and helps him read the signs on Weathertop that was Gandalf. How, well, I don't know if it'd be comforting because you knew there was some conflict there, right? But at least to know that Gandalf is alive.
At once, Strider flung himself on the ground behind the ruined circle, pulling Frodo down behind him.
Oh yeah,
Merry
I forgot
threw
about
himself
this.
Right, yeah. What is it? He whispered. I do not know, but I fear the worst. Slowly, they crawled to the edge of the ring. Edge of the ring. Sorry, Stop me in the tracks there.
Whoa.
Right, and peered through a cleft between the two jagged stones. Far below were black riders assembling on the road beyond the foot of the hill.
They're gathering around the fire, right, with the blankets, and the stars come out.
Yeah.
And that also leads to us learning that Gil-galad is starlight.
Yeah.
In their tongue.
Yeah.
So there's kind of a cool connection there too. With Elendil, the elf friend, he went to the land of...
Right, cuts him off.
Right. A third time, Ezra. 3 times. Also, like the mention of a cock crowing. It's just really interesting, man. I'm going back to the Bible, right? Throughout this chapter.
Absolutely.
It's very, very interesting. Just kind of in the time of day. It's
right.
It's very interesting.
As you're going through that thicket, imagine that thicket being almost like shoulder high. That's the way I imagined it, right?
Yeah.
Is it being very dense and thick? You could almost, if you're elevated, you could see someone moving through the thicket.
Right.
But if you're looking just from the road out into it, I think they do talk about it at parts sloping down towards the south.
Yeah.
And so you might be at an elevated position from the road, because if you consider Weathertop is north of the road, right? And then you consider it with the terrain would slope downwards a little bit, right, as you go south.
And especially as you're
for
headed
a time.
Yeah, especially as you're headed towards the rivers as well.
Yes, exactly, because it's that valley, right, where all that water is coming, in there, right? So I just kind of imagine that they'd be looking in there, and they're still under pretty good cover. And again, I think it's not that the Black Riders couldn't have found them; they are game planning here. They don't necessarily understand who's in their company. Yeah. They've been startled, they've been resisted against, and they're scared to death because of the name that was called out.
It's exactly right, and I didn't put that together, but you're right. That is what caused them to retreat. Mm-hmm. Was the significance of that name.
Yeah, it has to be, right? Yeah. So we don't really get his path or his perspective. He's up and down this road patrolling.
Can you imagine that?
Dude, it's so so awesome.
I understand why they wanted to incorporate Arwen into this.
And I love
it makes sense. But this would have just been, I don't know. It would have been awesome to see in the films.
They're a little revived to kind of see one of Bilbo's first successful adventures.
Yeah.
So that's heartening, right? So we can do this type of thing. Like Bilbo was here. He made it through. He's been there and back again.
Right.
We can do it as well. They scramble off the road. I imagine them just north of the road. I don't know if it was north or south, but just kind of hanging out there. And Strider starts to kind of smile. He's a little bit... this is good. This is good to him.
Yep.
The hobbits realize it's not a Black Rider, but they don't know what it could be.
Right.
But Strider does.
Yeah. And his hood was thrown back. His golden hair, so we find out what he looks like here. His golden hair flowed shimmering in the wind of his speed. To Frodo it appeared that a white light was shining through the form and raiment of the rider as if through a thin veil.
Well, think about this. He's going sort of in and out, right? And what he's seeing, you get this misty vision. At one point, we forgot to mention, but he's waving his hand in front of his eyes because he's losing his sight.
That's
right. And during the daylight, it's almost like he was hoping for night. He was hoping for night because it was so.
That mirrors the Black Riders. The noon sun, they can't see anything, and at midnight is when they see clearest. You're right. So, this is one of your favorite characters bursting into the scene here. My Govanen, here he is.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
Right,
dude. This is the best, right? Okay, so, hail, well met at last, said the elf lord to Frodo. I was sent from Rivendell to look for you. We feared that you were in danger upon the road. That things were amiss, and sent messages as swiftly as they could. They said that the Nine were abroad, and that they were, and that you were astray, bearing a great burden without guidance.
Wait, is that Gildor?
Gildor is the one who sent them a message.
Sent the news. Okay, that's
saying
what I
that the Nine were abroad, and that Frodo Baggins was bearing a great burden.
Thank God for Gildor, man.
But dude, just the way that's worded, man, I'm telling you, like it gives me chills when I read it. You know, the Nine are abroad.
Yeah,
because we yet don't understand
the significance.
Is this not? It's the first time that we've kind of heard the Nine. I think I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, I think so. But
like, so that to me sends a chill, right? That we have this great elf lord talking about the Nine are abroad. We heard that you were bearing a great burden without guidance.
Yeah.
Gandalf was not to be found.
Yeah.
And they send out riders from Rivendell.
I know, it's
I'm
amazing.
just like, this is so badass. I don't know. I mean, this conversation, I'm there. That's why, like, okay, when we first started, like, a couple months ago, I had read all the way to the council. So I'd read book 1 just to get book 1 done.
Yep.
And I showed up like the second day for episode 2.
And
I walked in Lane's house and I was just like, Glorfindel! It's going on a shirt. I'm going to put it on a shirt.
It's got
I just
to.
love this guy. Speeding as if on wings, passed right before the face of the foremost rider.
So he could feel his breath.
Yeah.
That's how close they were.
Right. So, but now, the best part, right?
Yep.
So at that moment, there came a roaring
And
a
it's
rushing.
interesting because the foremost rider actually sets foot on the shore.
Yeah. Yep.
So he clears the river.
He's there.
It's amazing.
Right.
Yeah, but you're right. Yeah, this is the climax right here, baby.
And he half fancied that he saw amid the water white riders upon white horses with frothing manes. The 3 riders that were still in the midst of the ford were overwhelmed. They disappeared, buried suddenly under the angry foam. Those that were behind grew back in dismay. And then it's the lights behind.
Yeah.
It's this powerful, powerful light that Frodo sees pushing the Black Riders into the river.
Yeah.
Who I think is Glorfindel.
Gotta be.
Right?
You're
Unleashing his power.
Right.
You know?
'Cause
And
you also
the
said-
light that he carries with him. He's an elf lord.
And the small shadowy forms, obviously.
Yeah.
Hobbits.
And they had torches, I think. They
Yep.
had like fire because that had worked before. And they were using fire to their advantage. And they had pushed the riders in.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. So, they were filled with madness, and they leaped forward in terror, and they bore the riders into the rushing flood. He heard and saw, so he felt himself falling, and the roaring and the confusion seemed to rise and engulf him together with his enemies. He heard and he saw no more.
Book 1 over.
Book 1 over.
Let's do strawberries with cream.
Yeah.
Okay, this is kind of like a little segment we're going to talk about. We'll develop this more.
It's quick.
But it's just, quick little stuff that we wish for Middle Earth. It can be comical, unrealistic, or it can be very realistic.
Okay.
Dream casts for the show.
Daisy Ridley as like any
She would be an
awesome elf.
awesome elf. I'm obsessed with Adam Driver.
Come on.
I think Adam Driver is one of the most bizarre, strange, intriguing, and amazing human beings that have ever been. Let's keep our fingers on hairy toes crossed.
Okay.
I think we need a spin-off series. I think we need a TV show that explores the hidden romance of Gimli and Galadriel. You know it happened. You know it went down. You know that those two had some sweet, sweet moments together.
Wow.
Celeborn doesn't know, I don't think, but you could make a whole spin-off.
We need to pick our favorite baddie that should get his or her own spin-off.
Yeah, and this for me was easy. Saruman.
I've got a couple. Okay, I'd like to see the Mouth of Sauron, but also Lurtz. We were just kind of thinking about Middle Earth in the sports world. So I love rugby. Rugby is my favorite sport. I'm just thinking the Hammer of Thorin Rugby Club.
I would like to take a Hobbit hide and seek team versus maybe an Elven hide and seek team.
Oh my gosh.
Who would win?
It'd never end.
Because I think it would be awesome, right? Right.
They'd just be hiding forever.
Yeah, is it tag and go? I mean, there's a lot of rules we'd have to get into.
Yeah.
I mean,
You'd need some officiating.
We're talking makeup. If you could have Tammy Lane transform you into one character / creature, who and what would it be and why?
Yes.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, slam. A dwarf.
Just any dwarf.
Just
a particular
any-
dwarf or your own unique dwarf.
No, I think I'd like to see what she would do.
My favorite baddie is Lurtz, and he's just so dang alluring. I think it'd be cool to get dressed up as Lurtz and just go around and freak people out.
You walking into a store to buy some milk and bread.
Sure.
That would be hilarious.
Amazing.
If you could hang for one night in the Shire, where are you going? Bag End, Brandy Hall, the Green Dragon, the Golden Perch, Old Farmer Maggot's Mushroom Patch. You're chilling like a villain. Obviously, the Hedge would be cool. I definitely want to go see Brandy Hall.
I thought you were only picking one place. You can pick multiple places.
I wasn't supposed to. But I think, okay, I'm going to narrow it down, though. Okay, here you go. I think what I would have to go with is going to the Crick Hollow Cottage.
All right, I went with the Green Dragon because I will pick that one place because
You said
I
Green
know,
Dragon, no question.
No question, because I know that if I go there, it will take me to many more places. Okay?
Oh,
It would take me
okay.
now in multiple forms. While I'm there, I'll hear things about the happenings in Mickle Delving.
I thought we were just picking one area.
Hey, I'm in that area. I'm sitting in the Green Dragon. I'm hearing things that are happening. I'm hearing about your, butt going over to Crick Hollow and being scared out of your mind. Okay,
He's a little hermit
and we're
out there.
laughing at you at the Green Dragon. Okay.
If you could choose one musical artist to sing a feature song of a future film based in Middle Earth, set in Middle Earth, what artist would you pick to sing that song?
The greatest singing voice we've ever heard in our time.
Okay.
Actually, of any time. T Swift, Taylor, my girl,
T
who I've met, Simon Pants, met her at
No, that's an appendices episode.
We'll save it.
Don't give it away. That's rich. Well, my
That is
favorite musician is John Mayer.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
After I just said Taylor Swift, your favorite musician is John Mayer.
Just a little paper doll, boy. Yep, Fortnite farewells. We got to go. Sorry, guys. We want to thank you for stepping off the road with us.
If you like our podcast, don't forget to subscribe, like us, write a review, leave a comment, or send us a shadow fax.
Lord of all communication. We'll see you in a fortnight, and remember, Frodo lives.
I don't understand these Roman numerals. This chapter VI? I don't get that. Is that a word? Chapter V? VI spells V. It's a little redundant, isn't it? Why don't you just put V? I can say the letter. You can phonetically spell the letter out for me, but